Imagine a day where colonial brick streets, sweeping Chesapeake Bay views, historic naval traditions, and some of the best crab cakes on the East Coast all collide in a single walkable city. I'm Adam from Destination Deca, and today we're going deep, the ultimate, long-form guide to the top 10 things to do in Annapolis, Maryland, plus 2 bonus spots, packed with history, fun facts, trip tips, filming ideas, and everything you need to plan an unforgettable visit. Hi, I'm Adam and this is Destination Deca. In this video we'll cover each stop in granular detail. What to see, the best time to visit, local lore, food recommendations, accessibility notes, and practical tips so you can build a perfect day or a long weekend in Annapolis. I'll give shot ideas and on-camera lines so you can follow my flow if you're filming your own travel video. Ready? Let's start at number 10 and climb to number 1. 10. Quiet Waters Park. Quiet Waters Park is Annapolis's large, accessible waterfront park and a local favorite for families, birders, and anyone needing a leafy escape from downtown. At roughly 300+ acres it blends paved multi-use trails, soft surface nature paths, a sculpture garden, kayak access points, playgrounds, and seasonal events. The land hosting Quiet Waters was part of colonial-era farms and later private estates. Archaeological digs documented indigenous and colonial activity long before it became a preserved county park in the late 20th century. The park's layout was designed to balance recreation with shoreline protection and habitat restoration. What to do and fun facts: rent a single or tandem kayak and paddle gentle creeks at sunrise to see ospreys and great blue herons gliding over marsh grass. Walk the sculpture trail that rotates local artists' work. It's a low-effort cultural add-on to a nature day. 9. Pennsylvania Dutch Farmers Market. This bustling indoor market is a regional draw for handmade baked goods, preserved meats, cheeses, and Amish-style comfort foods. It's a food lover's microcosm of the Mid-Atlantic's farm-to-table traditions. The market evolved from small vendor stalls into a full indoor marketplace that draws families and culinary travelers. It links Annapolis to Pennsylvania Dutch foodways and artisan producers across the region. What to eat and fun facts: don't miss the fresh baked donuts and pretzel logs. They're local legends and the perfect portable snack for a harbor stroll. Sample smoked country ham, locally made cheeses, and prepared picnic boxes for a harbor-side lunch. Fun fact: many vendors follow recipes passed down for generations, so tastes you get here connect direct to Lancaster County traditions. Trip tips: best time. Open hours on Saturday mornings. Go early to avoid lines and secure the best pastries. 8. Annapolis Harbor City Dock and Ego Alley. City Dock is the heart of Annapolis waterfront life. Ego Alley is the famous short waterway where boats parade, spin, and more. This waterfront loop is the quintessential Annapolis scene: sailboats, historic architecture, waterfront dining, and constant motion. Annapolis's maritime identity dates to its colonial trading past and strategic Chesapeake location. City Dock became the social and commercial focal point where land and sea commerce meet. What to do and fun facts: walk the wharves, watch classic wooden boats during parade season, and time a visit for a regatta or in-water boat show. People watch at the docks. Ego Alley is both literal and performative. Boat crews show off workmanship and seamanship. Fun fact: Ego Alley is a local nickname that stuck because captains often show off their vessels while navigating this tight, spectator-lined channel. 6. Maryland State House. The Maryland State House is the oldest state capitol in continuous legislative use in the United States and a museum of early American governance anchored by dramatic Georgian architecture. Built beginning in 1772, it briefly served as the U.S. Capitol under the Articles of Confederation. George Washington resigned his commission there in 1783, an act that symbolically transferred military to civilian authority in young America. What to see and fun facts: step into the old Senate chamber where national decisions were discussed and stand where Washington resigned. See the large wooden dome built without nails, a unique architectural detail worth lingering over in photographs. Fun fact: the dome's timber frame is one of the largest of its kind and predates many later domed capitals around the country. Trip tips: best time: morning tours to beat crowds and capture interior light. Logistics: free guided tours often run on the hour. Check the State House visitor page for schedule and security protocols. 5 U.S. Naval Academy Museum and U.S. Naval Academy grounds. The U.S. Naval Academy and its museum are core to Annapolis's identity. The Academy campus combines immersive naval history, parade grounds, chapels, and the museum exhibits that chronicle naval warfare, exploration, and seamanship. Founded in 1845, the Naval Academy trained generations of naval officers and influenced U.S. maritime force structure. The museum compiles artifacts from early sail to modern naval technology. What to see and fun facts: walk the yard, visit Bancroft Hall, and the crypt of John Paul Jones at the Naval Academy Chapel. See historic ship models, uniforms, battle dioramas, and interactive displays at the museum. Fun fact: the brigade's routines and traditions date back a century, and seeing a uniformed procession is a living slice of military culture. 4-schooner Woodwind sailing cruises. Sailing on the schooner Woodwind is an active, romantic, and educational way to experience the Chesapeake. These classic wooden schooners offer public sails, sunset cruises, and themed events that connect passengers to traditional seamanship. Traditional schooner rigging dominated mid-Atlantic waters for centuries. These restored vessels recreate that atmosphere and teach authentic sailing techniques. What to expect and fun facts: guests can help hoist sails, take the helm, or simply relax while the crew narrates maritime history and wildlife sightings. Sunset sails turn the harbor into a cinematic palette of light, great for slow-motion B-roll. Fun fact: schooner crews often include volunteer naturalists who point out osprey nests, migratory patterns, and local marine ecology. Trip tips and filming notes: best time: sunset sails for photography, morning excursions for calmer water. 3. Annapolis Maritime Museum and Park. This museum preserves the region's maritime culture and champions oyster restoration, boat building, and environmental education. It's hands-on and community-driven. Housed on a historic oyster company site, the museum connects the economic history of the bay with modern conservation efforts, especially oyster reef restoration and water quality projects. What to see and fun facts: interactive exhibits explain how oysters filter water and why restoration helps the bay. The museum runs heritage boat programs and skipjack sails that let visitors experience traditional working boats. Fun fact: the Chesapeake oyster industry shaped the region for centuries, and the museum's programs actively restore living reefs. 2. Downtown Annapolis Partnership in Main Street. Downtown Annapolis is the compact historic core with brick sidewalks, chandlery shops, galleries, and a walkable mix of restaurants that captures the city's personality. The Downtown Annapolis Partnership coordinates events and preserves the area's architectural fabric. This streetscape is one of the best preserved colonial districts in the U.S., retaining scale and masonry that makes walking through it feel like stepping into living history. What to do and fun facts: walk from Church Circle to City Dock for the definitive Annapolis loop that takes you through historic homes, boutique shops, and waterfront cafes. Shop for nautical decor, local art, and Chesapeake-centric souvenirs like crab mallets and oyster knives. Fun fact: many buildings date to the 18th century and host plaques that identify their construction dates and historical significance. Slow Steadicam along Main Street, close-ups in boutique shops, interviews with local shopkeepers about tradition and craft. 1. Sandy Point State Park. Sandy Point is the top outdoor destination near Annapolis, with a sandy beach on the Chesapeake Bay, picnic areas, fishing, and up-close views of the Bay Bridge. It's the place to get into the water after a day of sightseeing. Historically, Sandy Point's shoreline usage shifted from private estates and farming to public recreation. Today it's one of the Bay region's most popular state parks. What to do and fun facts: swim, sunbathe, fish from the pier, or photograph the Bay Bridge at sunrise or sunset. Spot shorebirds and tidal life in the intertidal zones during low tide. Fun fact: Sandy Point can reach capacity on hot summer weekends, so it's common for visitors to time arrivals early or plan weekday visits. Best time: early morning for photos of the bridge and soft light, late afternoon for golden hour portraits and time-lapse sunsets. Bring sunscreen, shade, and prepaid parking if available in peak season. Bonus 1 Ego Alley Spectator Guide: why this deserves bonus status. Ego Alley is worth a focused stop because it's pure Annapolis theater. Yachts, classic wooden boats, and showmanship. It's the best free entertainment. Bring a camera and a sense of humor. What to do and fun facts: find a bench on the North Dock, order a crab roll, and let parade watching be your afternoon activity. Fun fact: boat owners will often time passes to coincide with lunch crowds to get applause and admiring looks. Bonus 2 William Paca House and Garden: why include it? This restored Georgian mansion and garden give context to Annapolis's colonial elite and landscape aesthetics. It's a quiet, cultured counterpoint to the harbor bustle. William Paca was a signer of the Declaration of Independence. His house's interiors and reconstructed 18th-century garden reveal how elite Georgian households lived and used landscape design to signify status. What to see and fun facts: tour the interior rooms furnished with period-appropriate pieces and walk the layered formal garden. Fun fact: garden reconstructions used archaeological evidence and period planting lists to match 18th-century practices. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Annapolis, hit like, subscribe to Destination Deca, and ring the bell so you don't miss future long-form city guides. Tell me in the comments which Annapolis spot you'd visit first and any hidden gems I should add to my next visit.